What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Gruesome Garage, and it's time to start working on the rear. Getting this 5-lug thug out of here and replacing it with our 8-lug baby right here. So let's get on it. It's time to strip her down.
Well, it looks like a tornado came through town here, but nope, that's just Jeff. Typical.
A couple of bolts, rear end fell right out. Mind-blowingly, not a single bolt was snapped, not even the upper shock bolts. I've never had that happen with one of our Cherokees, and we've worked on plenty of Jeeps. Even TJs, they do it. So
maybe, just maybe this thing is too clean. Should put it back together.
Definitely not.
Survivor.
Could sell it for 16 grand on Bring a Trailer, guys. Screwed up.
If anybody wants this, make an offer before it gets completely destroyed. Just kidding.
Speaking of getting destroyed, let's yank this rear axle out of here. I never want to see it again.
Right to the scrapyard.
Good old Dana 30.
Paperweight.
Or 35. Paperweight, let's get it out.
Yavage.
We got Matt over here helping. Mike just came in the door with the bruise. And we got this thing fully stripped underneath. Cleaning up the stupid rubberized garbage, and we're gonna get to burning the rear frame stiffeners. Let's get at it. Another thing that we have to do before we get the stiffeners on, or at least I'd like to, is cut these shackle brackets right off. I know they're detrimental to the Jeep, and I'm still using leaf springs, but guess what? I'm not using these shackle boxes anymore. There's a company called HD Off-Road, and they make no-lift relocation boxes, and we'll show you those in a little bit, but I gotta finish cutting this sucker out. We got everything cleaned up and ready to go. It's a miracle. 60 degrees in February. This is phenomenal. We get to work in some daylight. Finally started tacking in this frame stiffener. It's almost done being burnt on. Then we get to go to the next side. Then I can't wait to show you guys what we're gonna be throwing in the back now that we cut out the shackle boxes. If you guys see, I had to drop the tank. I didn't have to, but it was a pain to get to these welds on the inside of the frame rail where the tank's at, and I really wasn't comfortable welding around the tank filler neck and the vent. It was older rubber, and you know how that goes, dry rot, but tanks a lot. We got it out. While we got Matt looking up Studleys for us, since ours are a little short, we got to finishing up the unibody stiffeners. So as you can see, they're all welded in, looking pretty and painted. And while we did that, we forgot to film and we snuck in the shackle boxes. So these guys right here, remember I cut them off and I replaced them. These are HD Off-Road no-lift relocation boxes. They're pretty cool. You cut out the old ones, you bolt in where the old bolt is right there just to hold them in. Then you got your nuts for the trailer hitch or whatever to bolt in the bottom. And depending on how much stuff you got going on in between the unibody and the new location boxes, it gives you a little spacer, because not only is it bolted from the bottom and the side, you drill through and you put these beautiful plates in, and you get yourself 3 spots for them to bolt in. We love them. They work really good, and they give an awesome shackle angle, as you guys can see, and that's not even with load underneath. It bends even more. So we got these leafs on, threw my awesome shackles in, and it's time to throw the rear end in. I'm getting excited. I'm sick of this thing being on jack stands. Since I'm a moron, or I don't know what was going on, but I ordered the wrong U-bolts because these were my old axles, like I said, out of my original Jeep. And the reason I ordered new U-bolts is because when I took them out, I snapped one of them, and I said, you know, if I'm getting one, I'm getting them all, because they all got to look the same. So I ordered the wrong size. I ordered 3 5/8 instead of 3 1/4. But so we're gonna do some odds and ends instead of throwing the rear end in for now, because we're waiting on the U-bolts. One of the first odds and ends that needs to really be assessed is taking this T-case out. I'm really do not want to use a slip yoke at the back of the T-case. I have a slip yoke eliminator kit already installed in a newer style T-case that doesn't have this stupid vacuum thing for the front axle. So we're gonna take this out, swap it with the old. After that, continuing on to driveline stuff, I have this new, or not, it's not new, I had it in my old Jeep. It's a transmission crossmember mount. And if you guys can see, this one's offset. This one was for an automatic 2001, so it was centered. So we're gonna make it work. I'm gonna cut it, figure out how to install this correctly so we can have a much more solid trans mount, because these things love to break on us. Out with the old, in with the new. As you guys see, it's got an SYE on it. Obviously we can't use this. This is for a newer style Cherokee. This is an 89, so it's got a cable driven system, so it looks like they're gonna work. So I'm just gonna pop this out. I don't know how accurate it's gonna be, but I got at least somewhat of a speedo. Let's get to it. This thing is gonna be fun to put in by myself. Now that after the long struggle and surprisingly no blood, I did not drop the T-case at all. I did it by myself, and I got it right in. A little sweat, no tears, but we won the T-case war of 2020, and we got the SYE in. Now it's just time to hook up the linkage and figure out how I'm gonna do that trans mount. Let's get at it. This right here is another cool little thing that I like to put on my Cherokee. This was on the old one. It's a wrench, old weird looking wrench for the shifter handle, and we're gonna see how it looks. I'm probably gonna cut it down and weld it a little lower, but it has a Boostwerks engineering T-case linkage on it. Eliminates all that extra garbage, so you'll see how it works as soon as we get to it. So let me take the old one out, we'll put this one in, and we'll go down and try to fit this up. It should go right up since I already aligned it for basically the same thing before. The old guy's out, and the new guy's in. A little ridiculous. That's 2-wheel, 4 high, 4 low. But we're gonna make a ridiculous shifter anyway, so it won't be in the way when we're done. Sorry about the mess, but we're doing outside in, meaning focusing on the outside of the Jeep and underneath, and then going to the interior. There she is, guys. Boostwerks transfer case shift kit. Now, it's a little different than my old style. I had to adjust it because it was manual transmission, so it sat a little different, but I adjusted it right into spot. I adjust it. The trick is to adjust it when it's in 4 low, and then it should go through all the range. If you do it in 2 high, sometimes you don't get that full range with the 4 low. So after a little trial and error, she's in and shifts like butter. As you guys can see, made a little modification to it. Cut it down on one side and welded her on to the plate that bolts to the transmission. And now we got ourselves a super strong trans mount. Well guys, we threw in the rear axle last night. Forgot to film it, of course, but you know how it goes. You jack it up, float it on the pins, throw the U-bolts in. Now we just have to do some brake lines. But it's finally sitting on all fours. Looks pretty good, actually. Can't wait to see what it looks like, those big boys over there. So if you want to see what it looks like, tune in next time.